Hello, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for clicking on this video. Let's finish up my knee, shall we? Can you see that? There are some parts of the line work that I need to go over again, just because I think maybe I was being a little bit of a baby, you know. I think it was hurting a little bit, so I kind of just didn't put in the ink as deep as it needed to go. What else do I need? Let's grab a 3. I'll grab, what is this? Round shader. Do I need a mag? I got one of these mags left. I'll use it. Whatever. 3 different brands we're using. It just doesn't really matter that much. Okay, let's grab some paper towels. I like to fold them in half here. You're looking at the behind the scenes of how all this stuff is put together, you know. This is valuable content. Excited to have this done. I'm not excited to do it very much, but it's nice to have it done. I already have my next tattoo planned out after this one. So that one's gonna be sick. Make sure to subscribe and follow along so that you don't miss that one. It's gonna be sick. Little micro portrait kind of deal. One of my favorite movies. If you guys can guess my favorite movie, I'll give you a kiss on the forehead, like I'm saying goodnight to you. We got a razor because we got hairy knees. Ooh, my back. You see me? Hello. I talk to you guys like how I talk to my son. It's crazy. He's 4 months old now. So we gave my son his first haircut today. Quite epic. First we tried doing it with like some scissors, and then that wasn't really working because hair is actually a lot stronger than you would think. Got a fun day ahead of us, guys. These videos could be a good opportunity for me to talk about just random things. Maybe I could do like a book review. I got myself a audible.com membership, so I've been listening to some books. It's a lot easier to listen to a book nowadays because I'll just be taking my son and my dog on a walk, and I'll put in my headphones and I'll be able to listen for like 30 minutes to an hour of a book. So it's actually been really fun to go on walks and stuff. Plus Bodhi loves to be outside, so he just like stares up at the sky. He's like, whoa. To see the world again as a child would be so cool. You guys are fictional, even real, just part of the Matrix. All right, it's not gonna get any easier with delaying anything, you know. Oh, I need befores. Let's take those befores. This is how the knee healed up. You can see what we're working with. A lot of this black is not as solid as I'd like it to be. And then we're doing the shading. Some of these areas are gonna be just full on black, so that's gonna be real fun. All right, now we're ready. Let's kick it. I think the first thing that we'll do is a little book review. So I recently finished listening to a book called The Way of Zen. God damn it, I forgot how much this hurt. I really like this book. I need my reference so I can tell what I'm doing. It's always important to know what you're doing. I grew up LDS, so I know a pretty good amount of like stuff from the Bible, and I didn't know much about Eastern religions and philosophy like Buddhism and Hinduism and Tao and all that kind of stuff. And I had listened to a bunch of Alan Watts's lectures on YouTube. They're just kind of like motivational lectures. Not motivational, but like I thought they were interesting the way that he has like a nice voice, and the way that he talks is really fun to listen to. I very highly recommend like just like going and listening to one of his lectures. It's like a really great introduction to him. I ended up really liking like the way he saw the world and how he explained things really resonated with me. So I was like, well, I'm gonna read one of his books, or listen to one of his books. And I started with The Way of Zen. Anyways, he has a bunch of books, all about like Eastern philosophy and all that kind of stuff. And so I chose that one, and it's broken into 2 parts where he explains the history, like where Zen Buddhism came from. It's like a really old and long history. So that was really interesting to hear. They don't do a very good job, or maybe I just didn't pay attention, but of teaching like Eastern history in the States. I really enjoyed listening to this book. I think some of like the more interesting like differences between Eastern and Western thought and philosophy is like the idea that things are kind of grown into existence in Eastern philosophy, whereas things are kind of made in Western philosophy. Like God made universe or the earth, right? But like what did he make it out of? Or like as like a tree kind of grows, people believe that everything kind of grew into existence. I don't know, I could be getting it completely wrong, but I thought that was interesting. Another thing that I liked a lot was that we're all a universe just experiencing itself. He talks a lot about like duality of everything. A metaphor that I really liked of his was like it's like 2 sides of the same coin, right? So like the only way that we can perceive a difference between each other is because there's a space between us. And the only way that we can tell the difference between anything is because of the empty space between anything. I don't know, I think my thoughts are all kind of like jumbled up. It's hard to like put together a cohesive thought pattern while tattooing yourself. I'm doing my best. And it's like, oh yeah, well things are made out of atoms. And then it's like, well, what are atoms made out of? And then you can go deeper, and then you're like, well, what are protons and neutrons and electrons made out of? And it's like, well, so is that the stuff? And then if everything is protons, neutrons, and electrons, and if everything is atoms, like what makes the difference between me and the chair that I'm sitting on if we're all just made out of these building blocks, right? And it comes down to like form, and like a big point in that he was talking about was that matter doesn't exist, like nothing exists. Things are just form. Things are just different energies, but creating patterns, linking together, creating chains in order to create the bones in my knee and the skin surrounding it. It's just like different chains and patterns of the same thing, which I thought was really a cool thing to think about, to be honest. I was like, oh damn, that's kind of true, right? Anyways, I really enjoyed listening to that book. I recommend it. Another section of it is like the practices that are within Zen Buddhism and like where they came from. And what was like most interesting to me about it is that you can be Zen just like living your natural life, and that's kind of like what the point is going back to your natural self where you are fully connected to the universe at any moment. I thought that was really interesting, like being like so present. Like you don't need to do anything special to become a Buddha. Buddhist monks are some really funny people. Like he would tell stories about like Buddhist monks trying to teach their followers what to do, and like they were kind of like really out of pocket. Becoming Zen is something that you can't really explain, and like the explanation takes away from the experience, and it's like you gotta kind of figure it out on your own. There's people that say that it's like an instant transformation, and there's like a moment of electric clarity and you can see what's going on. And some people say that it's something that you need to work on a long time. I'd like to think that it can be both. I think that people are so different that some people can experience it in an instant like that, where some people need to have it as a constant practice. Secret ingredient is like you are already what you need to be. Searching for something that you already are. You're just kind of have this clouded perception of what you are and what it is that you're looking for. Yeah. Anyways, I really freaking like that book. It kind of reminded me of Kung Fu Panda, like the Dragon Warrior. There was no secret. He was all along the Dragon Warrior. He became Zen. He didn't realize that until like his dad told him the secret ingredient to his secret ingredient soup was nothing, that the soup itself was already perfect. And he just like says that it has a secret ingredient. Right over the top of the knee is not a fun spot, you guys. So yeah, that was the book I read last month. I get like 1 credit a month. All right, guys, we're pretty much done. I'm just gonna add a couple of little like embellishments, finish it off. A couple of like thorns, if you will. But I'm really digging how it's turning out. I like to do these little X's and O's on my tattoos. I think it just looks pretty cool. I already got a bunch of X's on here. I'm gonna do some outside of the rows and a couple of little thorns. Just like shaded. Last thing I wanted to talk about today was I watched a couple of interviews with this like psychologist guy. He was talking about how friendship is kind of like in a decline. The amount of friends people have is like a lot less than it used to be. It's even more exaggerated among dudes. Just dudes being bros, you know, just guys being dudes. And that a lot of, especially younger people, just like don't have a lot of friendships. And it got me thinking a lot about, you know, my own life and my friendships I've had. I definitely don't know how to like make new friends, you know. I have like the friends I had from school, from high school or whatever, but after that, like, I think it's been very challenging for me to create friendships. I was just curious about like how many other people felt that way. I definitely don't have, I mean, I have like people that I consider my friend, but I don't have people that like I go out and just like do stuff with, you know, how I used to. I don't know, is it just like people are more busy now, or is like the online kind of stuff make it hard for people to connect in real life? I don't know. There's a lot of things that it could be, I feel like. I'm just like free-handing these circles. I'm gonna call it there, guys. Check out this B-roll. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure you hit subscribe. Don't want to miss the next tattoo I do on my leg. Thank you so much for watching. We're gonna get through this together.